So, hello everybody. Weather hasn't changed a lot in Germany. We're now at a new low, minus 15 outside. That's middle of the day. So I'm inside. They've got a small trade show here in Munich, and today I thought I'd kind of have a wander through and see what new products are on the market and what the manufacturers have to say about them. See you in a moment. So we're back, and I'm very lucky to have Stefan Rogge with me today, who's one of the experts from Callaway. He's going to tell us what Callaway have got new for 2018. Stefan, thank you for giving me your time. Last year was an epic year for Callaway. Bit of a play on words there, but it really was cool, wasn't it? How do you beat that?
Well, that was a tricky one, but the engineers always find a way to beat that, and we're going to go rogue this year. Actually, we bring fusion forgiveness with epic ball speed, and that means rogue. Okay,
so last year you were talking about jailbreak, or
Correct.
What exactly was jailbreak?
So jailbreak is, here you can see it, it's these two bars connecting the crown and the sole plate of a driver, and the result of having less energy loss by deformation. And less deformation means more energy can be transferred to the ball, so the ball is traveling quicker and therefore it flies further.
Okay, great. But the club wasn't then as forgiving, or?
A bit, not as forgiving as Fusion. Fusion is always the most forgiving club in our line, and therefore we took the size of a Fusion driver and built in the jailbreak technology, meaning that the club is slightly longer and slightly wider, but not as high. And that is bringing the MOI up to a much higher level, and therefore it's on off-center hits, much more forgiving with the add of the ball speed.
Okay, so if you don't know what MOI is, MOI stands for moment of inertia, and basically means how much that the club head is likely to twist if you don't hit the center of the club. By moving the weight away from the club face, then it becomes more stable. So you basically combine the two drivers, now we've got one driver.
Yeah, which is for the normal consumer, it's field softer, it has more ball speed, and it's much more forgiving on off-center hits.
Wow. Does that mean then the driver range gets smaller, or do you have any other drivers in the market?
We have the option of having actually three different models. There's one low spin version called the Sub-Zero. There's also the draw version for all the people who have trouble with hitting slice, you know. And there's for sure the just neutral version for all the rest.
So what's the advantage of having a low spin?
If you tend to hit down on the ball with a steeper angle of attack, you might have the result of too much backspin. If you have really high head speeds and you don't hit it in the upper part of the club face, you might fight too much spin, and that driver will take ridiculous amount of spin off, up to 600 RPMs versus different other products, and that will give you a more penetrating ball flight, resulting in more distance.
So how do you do that?
It's all about center of gravity. So if you can put a carbon crown in a driver, saving about 2/3 of the weight versus titanium, you have the option of lowering the CG dramatically. You have two weight screws where you can play around, and you can have a slightly higher launch with low spin, or a lower launch with even more penetrating ball flight, just by moving those weights around.
Okay. And will that make it less forgiving then?
Depends. If you put the heavy weight screw in the back, it will be still a high moment of inertia driver, but if you put the weight screw in the front, you're going to get more workability. That means slightly less MOI versus the weight in the back.
So maybe for a better golfer?
Yeah, you have more workability. You can play a fade or draw on purpose, which is more tricky with a really high MOI club.
Excellent. And anything else new?
Yeah, we have fantastic new golf balls.
Okay.
The Chrome Soft is on the next level, on the next stage.
Okay.
And the physics guys found a material called graphene, and graphene is the lightest and strongest material we know on Earth. It is weight-wise 1/7 of air.
Wow.
It is 1,000,000 times thinner than a sheet of paper, but it's 200 times stronger than stainless steel. And by putting that in the outer core of the ball, we can make the ball softer, but faster. You will have less spin on a driver with a higher launch, and this is absolutely the best which you can buy so far, and it's unique because it's only available from Callaway Golf.
Oh wow. And are any of your tour guys using this ball?
Yeah, plenty of them. So we have just moving Sergio Garcia to us because of the new ball, Marcel Siemes back to Callaway because of the ball, so and Phil Mickelson and all the others still use our ball. So it's a really good improvement of the really chrome soft, which we had the last 2 years.
So do you think we'll be seeing more distance from the guys, even more distance then?
If you can get rid of the spin, which you might have too much in this kind of player type, you're going to see more distance, yes.
Okay.
High launch, low spin is always a way of achieving more distance.
And I mean, I think a question that everybody's got with balls, if I get that kind of €5 ball, is that really worth the money in comparison to, say, a cheap ball? What do I get? What's the real difference? Is it more performance? Is it more
spin separation, I would say. So a premium tour level golf ball has the opportunity for you to reduce the driver spin heavily for more distance.
Yeah.
But on the other hand side, the same ball will spin more around the green. So the difference, the spin separation, is the biggest in the market, and that will give you great advantage from the tee box and then around the green.
Wow, excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today,
Pleasure.
Stefan. I'm looking forward to trying this stuff out.
Go for it.
Fortunately, I get a couple of these things to try out, and I will report how it goes. So, thanks very much, and all the best.
Thank you.
So, I'm now with Thomas Weiler from Hole in One Fitting. It's one of the best fitting stations we've got in Munich and in Germany, actually. And Thomas is going to tell us a little bit about the PXG Golf Club. I think we've all heard of PXG, and they've really kind of made a name for themselves in golf in a really short kind of time. So, what have they done, Thomas? What is the secret?
Well, Bob Parsons, a billionaire from the United States, he has invented the company, and he said he wanted to have an iron model which is the best performing in the world. So he took his engineers and developers and let them work and see what's coming out. And what has come out is 3 different iron models. I've got 2 in my hands, black and a chrome finish. And the special thing about it, they were the first manufacturers to put a cavity into the iron, into the head, and fill it up with a thermoplastic elastomer, which is like a sort of plastic insert they put in.
So the actual club head is hollow, a bit like like a wood.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's been able to, so when you hit the ball and you got the ball impact, then it's actually getting the vibrations down. So it's a very, very smooth feeling when you hit the ball, and therefore they were able to put in a very thin club face. Due to the fact that they were saving a bit of weight in the center of the club head, they have put it through that through the screws into the back of the head, so they can actually make it have a very high MOI, which allows it to be very stable through the impact when you hit the ball.
I understand. So we're back with MOI, which is again this moment of inertia, where they're trying to get the weight of the club back away from the ball, which then makes it simply more stable if you don't hit the ball in the middle of the club.
Exactly, yeah. That's about it. It's not an iron which is manufactured for tour players. Obviously, tour players are playing it, because there are 3 different types. Extreme Forgiving, which is the widest sole, the standards 3011, and the 3011 tour type. And it's actually made for a pretty big target group for what's called handicap 5 up to handicap 30. So it's not necessarily like a blade type of thing, which is for good players, but everybody can play it. And
so you can play this as a total beginner?
You can play as a total beginner. Obviously, it's very pricey, but as a beginner, you can play it. Yes.
What kind of price are they coming in at?
The club heads are around €400 per club heads. Depending on what type of shaft you're putting in, you'll be up to 450 to 500. The black ones are even a bit more expensive, €100 more expensive due to the black finish they've got. And so set price depending €2,500 to up to €4,000, depending on how many clubs you're taking and what shafts you're putting in. But
and have you been able, to kind of compare them with any of the other manufacturers? I know they're all kind of doing a similar kind of technology now.
It's true, yeah. I think it looks like the technology, since it's working, and we can see it in the fitting, that the data is very good, and it's always that touch better. If it might be 1, 2, 3% more accurate, 1%, 2% higher launch, which is good for a player who struggles with hitting the ball high.
Yeah.
So that's what is the advantage of the club, and I believe since it's been working with PXG, so many other manufacturers are trying to rebuild that concept and that story and put the technology in their irons, which is rather costly. I'm not sure if everybody can do it, but I think that's a bit of a hype behind it. Okay,
but it really is more expensive to manufacture than just molding a head and then sticking a shaft on it.
Yes, it is more expensive. I mean, to have the hollow heads and put in the thermoplastic elastomer. I think from manufacturing point it is more expensive, but I think it's also a brand which wants to position itself as the best clubs, and therefore I think a bit of an up price for marketing. I think like every other brand.
Yeah, sure.
It's
sure.
included as well. But
sure.
technology, world class, and the customers are very happy. So that's the most important for us.
Excellent. Well, Thomas, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for coming.
It's been very interesting, and yeah, we'll talk again later. So, I'm back, and I've got the luck to actually meet up with Hauke Lipp. He's the regional sales manager for Central Europe, and he's going to tell us a little bit about Cleveland and XXIO. Start with XXIO. I mean, XXIO is maybe not a name that everybody knows, but it's very big in Japan.
It's very big in Japan. It was founded in the year 2000. We were a former distributor for a very large US-known brand, and when that contract was terminated, our company was lacking turnover, as you can probably imagine.
Okay.
And we decided to create a new brand, and our engineers, who are very into detail, like Japanese engineers are, created XXIO in the year 2000. And then from that day onwards, it's 18 years now in the market, and from day one we are market leader in the premium segment.
Oh, right.
Yes.
And what's the target audience for XXIO?
Well, the target audience and the main thing is to support the golfer who has a lack of swing speed. So most of the
that's
time,
most of us, really.
Yeah, if you have a pyramid, it's the far bottom of the pyramid to kind of support that golfer to become a better golfer, to increase the head speed, more forgiving heads. We're using top materials, especially our shaft design is very interesting. So what we do, we have something like a supercomputer. And with this supercomputer, we collect several swings of golfers, and then we kind of try to match the shaft to the average out of these swings.
I see.
So you can actually help the golfer to get the ball in a better, to get the club head into a better position at impact.
Okay, and what kind of swing speeds are we looking at here?
Well, we're looking at between, let's say, between 55 up to 85. We do also do 85, 90, but then obviously a little bit the shaft story then changes a little bit.
Yeah.
We have to play around with head weights as well. So our thing with XXIO is that most of the stuff is lightweight. It's all lightweight. The shaft, our lightest shaft for men's regular is 36 grams.
Wow.
But because of that, we also change the weight of the club head.
Yeah.
So the club head is much more lighter than competition. Give you an idea, our Cleveland launcher driver, which is also brand new this year, has about 315 total weight.
Okay. The head alone?
Yeah, no. The entire
The complete
club.
club,
Yes.
okay.
And the XXIO club, for example, this one which I'm having here is the new XXIO 10 men's, has about 274.
Wow.
Okay.
So that's quite a substantial saving.
That's a substantial saving.
And how does that actually relate in club head speed? Have you done any tests that actually tell us, how much faster they can swing it?
Yeah, up to 10 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, head
so that's going to be good when if they get kind of a good transfer of energy onto the ball, then they've got 15 miles an hour ball speed.
Yeah. Last week we had the same fair like here in Munich and Hamburg, and we had the former German champion, 84, very good swing.
Okay.
And we fitted him a XXIO Prime driver, which is our top driver in XXIO.
Yeah.
And he increased his swing speed with a really good swing, I must say, but by 12 miles. Yeah.
Oh, that's really
and very good ball flight, etc. So that's the main goal, and obviously the forgiveness of the club is interesting as well.
Yeah, so obviously we've got enough companies kind of targeting the tour professional and making this driver for the tour pro, but there's not an awful lot of companies maybe just saying, okay, we're going for the average Joe.
Yeah, well, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, and tell me about Cleveland. Where's Cleveland going? I mean, I know it as a wedge company. I know they make excellent wedges. Never really thought about it as for drivers or irons.
Yeah, Cleveland in the past was very successful with a product which was called Highball.
Yeah,
you might remember.
Yeah,
it was a funny
name.
It was a funny looking club. A lot of ball speed, very forgiving, and that was one of the clubs where we were really in competition with, let's say, the other major brands, especially in drivers. And but then the company was sold to Rossignol, a ski company.
Okay.
Winter ski, summer golf, that seemed to be a good fit, but they didn't quite get the golf business. So then they sold the product on again, Cleveland, to another company called Quicksilver. Same scenario. Quicksilver surfing, as addition a little bit a high price point golf during summer, and in the winter snowboards, and that didn't fit either. They kind of pulled out all the money which Cleveland generated, so we lost our track on tour.
Okay.
And gave it away to the competition. And then, as I said, the Sumitomo Rubber Group bought Cleveland, and we decided about 4 years ago to drop all hard goods except putters and wedges.
I see.
And then we redesigned the product. We put some more effort into designing new, meaningful technologies into the wedges, also into the putters, and getting that back a little bit into success. So in the moment we are in the wedge category always number 2 or 3, depending on which month, which is quite good. And from a European perspective, since about, let's say, 3-4 months, we also are on the sell-through statistic. Finally, again, not only with closeout, we have now our actual product back in there, which is very positive.
Yeah.
And as you may know, in golf, there's been a lot of changes in the last couple of years. So brands like Nike and Adams Golf are not existent anymore, and we felt that there's a gap in the market, especially in certain price points. And with Cleveland, we came back after now 3.5 years.
So where does a set of Cleveland irons kind of sit?
It sits with steel shaft at $599.
Okay.
And with graphite
Euros
at $699.
now.
Yes,
Yeah.
euros, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, obviously the drivers.
So that's very competitive, really, in the marketplace, because otherwise we're looking around about kind of $9.99 for a standard kind of set with Callaway, TaylorMade, things
Correct.
of that ilk.
But that's on purpose, because we believe that this price point is still a valid price point. It's not everything is mega.
You can still make
expensive.
money on that.
We can make money on that, and especially our retailers and the consumer gets a fantastic price value product.
Yeah.
It's a very well made product. On all products we have our own shaft make, which is Miyazaki, which is Japanese. So it's a Japanese made quality graphite shaft in all products at a very competitive price point. And especially the performance is really, really good. So we brought back the HB Launcher iron, which is a which is a Holotech hybrid-like iron set, which then has a progressive design from long to short irons. And I'll tell you what, if you can't play irons, you have to look at this set. It's almost like magic. I'm not joking. It's very easy to play.
I always recommend that you go out and test clubs before you buy them, irrespective of what they say on the packet. And I think that's probably what you're saying. If you go out, if you're struggling with your irons and you don't necessarily go to the usual kind of competing brands, you might be able to find yourself something a little bit cheaper that does the same job.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say cheaper. Let's say price value. It sounds a little bit better.
Sounds better, most certainly.
And but I think we had so much success in Hamburg already, and also in Munich. We launched the product in September, and people are actively asking for the product. So that's a good sign that we're on a good track with that with that product range with Cleveland again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, Hauke. It's very nice to meet you again, and we'll see you shortly, hopefully.
John,
all the best.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
So now I'm very lucky to have Andy Tillen here. Andy is the sales representative for Bavaria, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's new in 2018 with Wilson Golf.
Yes. Hi, John. Glad to see you here.
Nice to see you as well, mate. How are you doing?
Fine. How are you doing?
I'm cool. You've got 2 main products you want to show us today, Andy. What are they?
Exactly. I would like to show you the new C300 driver. Actually, it's a family of woods. The driver consisting of the driver, the fairway wood, and the hybrids. The C300 family of woods is the first woods where we have integrated our power hole technology, our flex fit technology, which basically allows the face of the woods to swing like a trampoline.
Okay, so you're basically getting more trampoline effect, because the COR would usually say you aren't allowed to go above a certain number.
Exactly. We expand through this technology. We expand the sweet spot basically.
So the area that gives you that kind of trampoline effect.
Exactly. That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do you do that?
As you can see, we have these power holes all through the face, around the face, and these power holes are filled with a polyurethane, and this soft material allows the face to swing like a trampoline.
Oh, right. So the entire face is actually flexing rather than just the center of the face.
Exactly, that's right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and the irons do the same?
Yeah, we have had this power hole technology in the irons for 3 or 4 years now. And like I said, it's the first time that we've integrated that technology in the woods.
Okay. So is the iron has also got a higher COR than a normal iron?
Yeah, they do, exactly.
They do. So they're also got a small trampoline in the iron as well?
Exactly, that's right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, and what kind of price are they going to retail at?
The driver sells at 429 euros.
429 euro,
The
okay.
fairway wood at 279 and the hybrid at 249.
So they're very competitive as well, really.
Absolutely.
If you're looking against some of the big boys, also big boys in so Callaways and Co's, they're over 500 euros a driver.
That's true.
Yeah. So I mean, Wilson's. I mean, I know Wilson since I was a child. I mean, we used to have a Wilson set of golf clubs. I think it was one of the first clubs I had in my hand.
Yeah.
And what tour players are still playing Wilson? Have you got guys on the tour?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we invest a lot in tour. On tour, we got Paul Lawrie playing our products, Kevin Streelman, Ricky Barnes, just to name a few.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't invest as much money as the big guys, as you mentioned. Do, but we still have a lot of guys out on tour playing our products.
Yeah, I think that has an advantage to a certain extent for the end user because, you know, somebody's paying these guys wages, aren't they? I mean, and if you're paying, you've got this big marketing budget, but in the end user is paying for that as well, so.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You gotta spread that word, I like that.
Okay, Andy, well, thank you very much for your time. It's great to see you again.
Great to see you, John.
Great English, well done, mate. I'm very impressed.
And German, not so
in the
bad,
future,
eh?
in the future, we'll just do everything in English,
Exactly.
all right? Cheers.
Thanks,
all the best.
John. All the best.
So everybody, I'm back from the trade show, had a great time. I hope there's a little bit of information out there that might help you with your choices coming in 2018. I'll be trying the Callaway gear in the next week. Get out there and try the stuff yourself. If there's anything you want me to test on golf gear in the future, then leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. If you like the channel and you want to support the channel, please do subscribe, and I'll be back very shortly with the next video.